Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, where birds sang sweet melodies and rivers sparkled under the golden sun, there lived a little princess named Snow White. She wasn't just any princess. Oh no. Snow White had the most magical beauty. Her skin was as white as freshly fallen snow, her lips were red like shiny cherries, and her hair? As dark and silky as a raven's feathers. But do you know what made her truly special? Her heart. Snow White was kind to everyone. Birds, animals, even the smallest bugs in the garden. She would sing to the flowers and share her lunch with hungry squirrels. Everyone in the kingdom adored her. Except for one. Her stepmother. The queen. The queen was beautiful too, but not inside. She was jealous. Very, very jealous. Every day she asked her magic mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" And the mirror would reply, "You, my queen, are fair, it's true. But Snow White is even fairer than you." Oh, that made the queen furious. Her cheeks turned red, her eyes flashed, and she stomped around the castle. One day, filled with jealousy, she told the royal huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and make sure she never came back. But when the kind huntsman saw Snow White's sweet eyes filled with tears, he couldn't do it. "Run, Snow White," he whispered. "Run and never return to the castle." Snow White ran through the dark woods. Branches scratched, owls hooted, and scary shadows danced around her. She ran and ran until she saw a little cottage hidden among the trees. It looked like a tiny dollhouse. Inside were 7 little beds, 7 tiny plates, and 7 cozy chairs. She curled up across the beds and soon drifted off to sleep. That night, the owners returned. And guess what? They were 7 dwarfs. Each one had a funny name. Doc, happy, sleepy, bashful, sneezy, grumpy, and dopey. They were miners with pickaxes and colorful hats. They tiptoed in and saw her. "A girl? In our beds?" When Snow White woke up and told them her story, the dwarf said kindly, "You can stay here and be safe with us." She smiled. "Thank you so much." Every day, Snow White made them breakfast, cleaned the little house, and sang songs that made the whole forest smile. But back in the castle, the queen asked again, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" The mirror replied, "You, my queen, are lovely in face, but Snow White lives in a faraway place." Furious, the queen disguised herself as a wrinkly old woman and made a poisonous red apple. "One bite," she sneered, "and she will fall into an endless sleep." She crept to the dwarf's cottage and called out, "Sweet girl, would you like a lovely red apple?" Snow White smiled kindly and took the apple. But the moment she took a bite, thump, she fell to the ground. The evil queen cackled and vanished. When the dwarfs came home, they cried and cried. They built her a glass coffin and placed her in the forest, surrounded by flowers. Animals gathered around in silence. Time passed. One day, a prince rode by. He had heard songs about a kind girl with snow white skin. When he saw her, he felt something magical. He bent down and gently kissed her hand. Suddenly, Snow White's eyes fluttered open. She gasped softly, "Where am I?" The dwarfs jumped for joy. The birds sang, the animals danced, and even the flowers seemed to bloom brighter. The prince and Snow White rode off to his kingdom and were married in a joyful celebration. The dwarfs were the guests of honor, of course. And the wicked queen? She was never seen again. Snow White lived happily ever after, surrounded by kindness, music, and love. Moral of the story: kindness, patience, and goodness will always be rewarded. Snow White's gentle heart helped her through dark times, and in the end, it brought her the happiest life of all.